Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Let rain fall, let rain
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Today at the Races, brought to you by Fidelity First. Beautiful day here at Laurel Park on Sunday, December 3rd. I'm Kimber Goodwin, joined by Keith Fustel. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Kimber. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good to have you back, and you can kind of show us the way a little bit, as you always do. You out-handicap us every time you come back and visit.
That is maybe not true, but, you know, sometimes you can not see the forest for the trees, and it's nice to have an outside look that
no doubt about it.
You know, that sometimes gives a fresh eye to something. So we'll try to make people some money today. That'd be nice, right?
That would be good. I
All
need
right.
some money.
8 races on the card. We did have some overnight rains, but the track is still fast for the 8-race card today. So we might as well get right to it, right?
Okay, let's go.
All right. Race number 1. It's sunny in the 50s here, maybe to the high 50s, and this is about the second to last day before we actually get to winter. So the turf course is closed for the remainder of the winter racing season here at Laurel. Race number 1 is $25,000 claiming. It is 5.5 furlongs for the 2-year-old ladies. And who do you like?
Well, in the first race, we're going to have a heavy favorite. Right now, way early money is on the 3, Guilty with an Excuse, and I think this horse will retain favoritism all the way up to post time and will be a short price. We've got a video. Let's go ahead and watch the video of the 3, Guilty with an Excuse, back October the 22nd at Laurel in a little bit better race. That optional 50 allowance, breaking down inside, broke a step slow, and then moving into the turn, had to steady early. Steadied often in this race. This horse steadies at the 3.5 and steadies at the quarter pole. This horse broke a little bit slowly. We've got that race right. We've got the correct way. I'm just going to pick this horse up down to the inside. It was a heavy favorite that day. Kimber was at 4-5, and right now going into the far turn has to steady. And the key with this horse is the speed. Is she going to be able to utilize her speed to her ability? I don't know. There you see a steady there, and then steadies again coming to the quarter pole. We're going to pick it up. Finished back in 5th. In this particular race. Here we go, another little slight middle move, leaving the 3/8, going to the quarter pole, had to maneuver through traffic in the blue cap with the white bridle, the number 2 there, and steadies yet again, and that was enough. This horse lost momentum. The key to me today, that's good enough, guys. You see the steady there and just kind of faded, beaten 8 lengths. Last time out at Parks, she broke well. She broke really sharp, and it was kind of rated off of the speed. And then really kind of didn't get into a drive at all around the turn. I worry about this horse. We saw Pecorose Runner yesterday break slowly, got beat at a really short price. Is it going to be deja vu all over again? I'm going to try to beat her with the 5, Ruby's Fire. Liked her last time, used her in the multi-race gimmicks at 11-1. Favorable post draw to the outside, and she finally had a clear trip. She had some trouble trips, her last couple in the dirt. She got a clear trip that day and was able to stalk and pounce. I think she's going to be able to use the same tactics today.
I used Ruby's Fire, who did win when dropping out of Maiden Special Weight Company last time. I also tried to beat the favorite as, you know, she may win by 10, but I think at 2-5 she looks vulnerable, so I'm looking, same as you are, for a value, and I ended up going with Dad City Girl. Now, she did run against her in that race, and she tracked the early pace and just kind of spit the bit, but the rail here has not been the best place to be. So she, as you saw in that race, she was up on the lead on the inside, and she just kind of gave up in the stretch. But she is one of only 2 horses in this race that has won 2 career races as a 2-year-old. The other is Guilty with an Excuse. She's also a perfect 2 for 2 at this distance. She's been in the money 2 out of 3 at Laurel. Last time out, she ran in a $20,000 claiming race. She dueled for the early lead, and she ended up hanging on for 3rd in there. Again, I'm just looking for something to try to beat 2-5.
Yeah, Dad City Girl, encouraging effort last time out, popped up and ran her lifetime best. She likes the distance, as as you stated. She was inside for a while last time out, and I still think held on quite well, shortening up to 5.5 will do her a world of good. And Jamie Ness, it looks like he's back. You know, he was tooling around, not doing a whole lot for 6-7 months around here. All of a sudden yesterday, 2 wins, 3 seconds, and one of those seconds he was just beating a bob. So
wow.
Looks like the barn is heated back up, and we see that. You know, you need fresh stock, and just things kind of flatten out for some of these bigger barns. And now it looks like it's coming together right now. It looks like a good winner is in store for Jamie Ness.
Dad's City Girl can sit just off the early pace, which looks to be provided by the 1 Trufflesburg and the 4 Hunka Bunka Brown. These horses have shown speed in the past, and their fractions were much faster, 46 and change, where Dad's City Girl was right off of 47 last time. So she looks to have good pace right in front of her, and hopefully she can sit just off the early pace and fire if Guilty with an excuse can't get
and
there.
Jose Bracho is a rider to watch now. I mean, he's an up-and-comer. He's got some talent, no doubt.
All right, let's go to race number 2. This is 5.5 furlongs. It's a claiming $5,000 race. Another one for the ladies, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Non-winners of a race for 6 month or non-winners of 4 lifetime. I took the 3 Miss Swisher. I think this is a wide open race. There's only 1 horse in this race that I kind of threw out, so it could be anybody in here. She was beaten just a neck last time at this level of 5,000. She came out of the same race with the 5 Money Game and also the 1 Wildcat Gaze and the 2 Stormy Mama, and she just missed. She was really coming at them. She did have front wraps on last time out, but she's still eligible for this non-winners of 4 lifetime, and some of the others have already gotten through that condition. But I think she's beaten most of them in here, so she looks tough.
Yeah, good effort last time. She's going to have some speed to target. He's been in some top barns, McGee's barn, Maldonado's barn, and Kevin Dove. You know, he reached in. He's only a 2% trainer, but trying to, you know, she's maintained form. I'll give her that. So she gets some speed. Wildcat Gaze is quick from the inside. She might not be quite as fast though as the 7. Look at that internal for Wildcat Gaze last time. Got away with a 23-2 opening quarter and just couldn't quite hold on. But she was on the worst part of the racetrack. I go to the outside. I'm going to take Jamie Ness in here. My heart's in the city. Coming in from Finger Lakes against Rosario Montanez. This horse gets the condition by 1 day. You go back and look. June the 3rd, where it galloped in an allowance race, a state-bred allowance race at Finger Lakes, playing the conditions just right is Jamie Ness, a good draw to the outside. And I don't think she necessarily needs the lead.
And she looks tough. It's her first trip at Laurel, so I tried to beat her with some horses for the course. And take a look at the 4 Antietam Creek, who's coming off the layoff for King T. Leatherberry since the 23rd of September. She was a winner in her last race out at this condition, and she looks to sit from off the early pace. And if they are cooking it early, then she might have a chance to come up and get it. Another horse I used here at a price is the 6 Ermine and Purrs. The last time she ran on the main track in Laurel was back on the 8th of October. She was in an open $6,500 claiming race. This is non-winners of 4 lifetime, which she still is eligible for, or non-winners of 6 months. She was only beaten 5 lengths in that race, and I think today takes an ever so slight drop down. She ran at Charlestown last time out and was only beaten 2 lengths.
Yeah, 4.5, maybe not quite her game. This is the right distance, and that coming off of that 4.5 might keep her a little bit closer, and she's kind of a grinder at this distance, and she did have a major excuse when stumbling against Open Company the last time we saw her here on the main track. I like Antietam Creek. I think it's going to be the higher price of the Leatherberries. She's got the capability to run a better number than what she did. I think this is a good angle with these fresh horses. Look at these, 61 to 180 days. King, 25% with a positive ROI.
Right.
I think Antietam Creek will come rolling from the back of the pack.
All right, let's take a look at race number 3. It's a 1 1/16. It's for maidens, 16,000. They're 3-year-olds and up. And in this race, I am trying to beat what looks like the favorite. Oh, this is also the start of the Rainbow Pick 6, and it was hit yesterday for over 8,000. So somebody had a good day at the races.
We gave it a shot. We missed the first leg. We did not have the James
brutal.
Lawrence winner at 9-1. Yeah, that horse got a good ride and was bet down off of the 21 more. Now, there was a couple scratches in that race. But, yeah, the key was yesterday the late pick 5. which we didn't play, we would have had, and it paid $2,000. It paid great. I could not believe the payout.
Sometimes
on a
I'd
pick
rather get
five.
out in the first leg than
Yeah.
get beat in the last.
That's true.
There's nothing worse than that, especially when you go in with 5 or 6 horses live and you watch the race unfold and you see some horse that you don't have and you're like, that horse is a winner, and you can't control it.
Yeah, that empty feeling. Yeah.
Indeed. I went with the 8 Charming Morty in this race. Ran at Parks last time for 25,000. Drops down to 16 today. That was the first try since August of this year, and just ran into a horse that was just crushed the rest of the field. So I think second time off the layoff, this horse on the drop for the leading barn of Claudio Gonzalez looks tough, and I tried to beat the one who is at this point becoming a professional maiden.
You got it. Major League hang. Last time in between horses looked like it had the race won. Going to be a short price. Gets a good position inside. We'll be able to kind of maneuver off of the rail. Plenty of time to do that. Sheldon, I'm sure, will give this horse a good trip. Bilko. Is Bilko a one-run sprinter? That's my main question for the 4. Has kind of steadily worked his way down. Has been awfully busy. His 5th career start since September the 23rd. So I don't know. As I have to a 7-time dirt route winner, but the progression of the race is you would think 7 furlongs last 2 races back to 5.5. Maybe they're going to try to go one more. 5.5 to a mile 16 is a tough move for me. Charming Morty, I agree with you, going to be the top selection in here. Excuse off a bit slow, but that's a habit of Charming Morty. He's got to get away a little bit better, but he faced a tough horse. He beat a service horse, was dropping from maiden special weight, just buried that field last time. But you see some 60s on the page. I think a mid-50 number. I think he can bounce back up to do that. That's going to get it done.
And the one, Praise the Moon, who looks like he might go to the post as the favorite for the 4th straight time. I was here that day. This horse had no excuse.
None.
He just hung. And if you look at his earnings, he has the most money of anyone in this field, as he's made almost $60,000 and is still a maiden.
What's the old saying? Does he want to lose his best friend? I don't know. Maybe he wants to just kind of keep in these ranks. And
Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. But
can make money doing that.
You never know. We are going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back to take a look at the rest of the card. Well, welcome back, everyone. Just about an hour to post for the first race here at Laurel Park. Track is fast in the 50s. On our way to a very nice day. I'm Kimber Goodwin, and this is Keith Fustel, and we are a little bit over a third of the way through the card.
8 race card today. So just a reminder that pick 6 gets started in race 3. Race 4, which we're going to look at right now, kicks off the late pick 5. Industry low, 12% takeout.
Don't get shut out. 6 furlongs for the 3-year-olds and up. They are running in maiden special weight conditions here in race number 4. And, you know, I did a pick 4 ticket that started in race number 2, and I went deep in this race because I think anything can happen here with the first-time starters.
Absolutely. A lot of question marks in here. We've got a stat, I think, to show for trainer Ben Perkins concerning the one Evil Monkey. Do we have that, guys, or no? I can't remember. Maybe, maybe not. Anyhow, there it is. Thanks, guys. Over the past 5 years, trainer Ben Perkins is 4 for 14 and 9 for 14 in the money with his first-time starters at Laurel. There's a positive ROI of $2.52. Interesting. By Don Six's Jersey bred, getting a late start. Didn't pay, you know, I don't know if this is a homebred or a horse they just kind of got for very cheap. Could have run this horse probably for cheap, Kimber, but they didn't. This horse is going to kind of get its start in a maiden special weight ranks. Not a real tough field. Questions abound. I think that stat is strong. Look at the workouts. 2 back, November 18th at Parks. 5/8, 59-2, breezing out of the gate. Another work, 47-2. This horse looks like he's ready to roll for Perkins.
And if you recall, Ben Perkins used to be stabled here
Yeah.
full time, and he and Rick Wilson, there's a name, a
Oh,
blast
yeah.
from the
Yeah,
past. He and Rick Wilson combined for tons of victories, tons of stakes victories, and Perkins was good then getting the first time starters ready, and still good getting those ready. And I circled the same work that you did, the 59-2 from the gate for a first time starter. That's a nice work. And Perkins doesn't ship very many horses down here, just 4 for the meet so far, and 3 of them have been in the top 3. But I went with one of my favorite angles in the entire world, and that is first time gelding and blinkers on. I have cashed so many tickets, 20-some dollar winners on this angle. I think it's one of the most overlooked that you can make the mistake of doing. This horse hasn't been out since June, but look at the work on November 3rd at Charlestown. 45-1, breezing from the gate. That was the second straight bullet. Last time just breezing, more of a maintenance work. 45-1, I'm sorry, don't have my glasses on.
Yeah,
45-1,
yeah.
that is absolutely cooking, and I don't care which track you're at, but I think this horse off the layoff with blinkers and first time gelding might be a little bit better price, and I took him along with the one Evil Monkey. And you know, you have to throw in Katie Voss, who is always ready with first time starters, and Tim Ritchie has a 25% win with first-time starters, so I think you better go deep in your exotics here.
I really struggled making the line in this race, struggled handicapping this race, took over. Good point. Tim Grahams doesn't run a whole lot of horses. Over the last 5 years, I think he's run, if I'm not mistaken, 13 runners. He's hit the board with one of those, but took over. Catches a kind of a suspect field, a field with a lot of question marks. Obviously, with an alert break is going to be the speed. How far can Took Over go? That is the main question. But look at that second out angle. 32% for this guy, obviously primarily at Charlestown. But this horse will be on the engine, brings the rider down, Christian Geraldo. My top selection is going to be the 4, Captain Scotty, by Quality Road out of Mare. She is Raging, was a 10-time winner. This dam has produced, though, 2 two-year-old debut winners. That's key. That's key for me. Quality Road hits at about 13-14% with the first-time starters. I'm intrigued by the 4 and the 1. I think one of these 2 is going to pop. Maybe both of them run well.
I think this could be. I wouldn't be surprised if really anything in this race happened, except maybe one horse would really surprise me. Let's take a look at the 5th race, and it is 7 furlongs, $15,000 claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. And you know, you just talk about an honest, hard trying field in this race. You know, we have 2 horses coming in here off of 2 straight wins. So somebody's streak is going to be broken, and you have a pick 4.
Yeah, I've got a pick 4. Scratch part of the entry here. Scratch the 1A, Preston's Princess. I was kind of hoping she stayed in. She looked like the speed that could kind of maybe give a target to my top selection, Tango Delta, for Jamie Ness. We're going to ride the Ness train, it looks like, today. 1 and 6 to get you started in race number 5. Race 6, we're going to spread with the 2, the 4, the 5, and the 10. I think that's a wide open affair. Race 7, the 1, 3, and 5. And race number 8, the 1, the 5, and the 9. That's a $36 ticket. Not an easy stretch whatsoever.
No, and I think that last race is the most wide open race on the card by far. Well, let's take a look at race number 5, and who'd you like in here?
I'm going to go with Tango Delta. I think back to the 7 furlongs distance. This is good. I like the encouraging step up off of the claim last time for a barn that we are going to take notice of right now. They looks like they're ready to fire on all cylinders. You know, Dancing today now, who I left out. I was going to have her maybe off the ticket, and I had to bring her back in with the scratch of the 1A. I think she's got more speed than what she's shown. She's run okay at the 7 furlong distance. The last time she did it, took a lot of pressure. She couldn't quite hold on, but the number of a 65 is something that's going to get it done here. But I think Tango Delta, the flow of the race should be good. She's going to be well positioned, can get off the rail maybe somewhere around the 3/8 pole and make a move. Include Gold. We've got video of her last race, November the 12th. Talk about a horse for course, Kimber. 7 for 10 with 2 seconds.
It's unbelievable,
and it looks like
honestly.
she's kind of worked her way back. Reached in, claimed for 5,000, stepped up to 75, kind of worked in between horses around the turn, and here she is for Kaisi Cartagena, getting out to the best part of the track, and is going to go by Abracadabra in the final furlong to win going away. She levels off nicely. Final quarter actually was pretty good. Abracadabra kind of gives way a little bit late. We're going to watch it to the wire. She's going to go clear. capable of stepping up, especially against this field and the way that she likes this racetrack. She'll get a good stalking trip at the 7 furlongs. But Dancing Danae is sneaky. She might sneak away.
Dancing Danae is actually the biggest winner in the field.
Yeah.
She has 10 lifetime victories, and she also likes the Laurel course, 6 out of 8. She's been in the money. Include Gold does look so tough, and she stepped up last time in Open 8,500 and really didn't have a problem. Here's a horse that just never gives up. She just keeps on and keeps on, and she's won 2 in a row, and she's won 5 this year out of 11 starts. She's won 7 of her 18 lifetime races with 11 in the money finishes. She's just as honest as the day is long. I went with the 3, Seeing is Believin', who ran in the slop last time and finished second off of victory and a claim for $15,000. The start before taken by King T. Leatherberry from Richard Silliman, and another horse for the course. She's run here 7 times with 5 wins in a second. These mares are just hard trying, honest mares.
Yeah. At this race, it's 7 furlongs. It was hard for me to kind of envision the flow. I mean, I thought the 1A was going to be going. Now I'm not so sure. And you've got horses. Poacher Crochet is very sharp. Showed speed. Delaware Pen. What's she going to bring to the table today? Tango Delta. My biggest fear is she's going to have to be used a little bit too much to get position. It might kind of hurt her late run. But I think she's going in the right direction. But Seeing Believing, whistled. I guess she was apt to come down off of that big performance.
Right.
Give her a little excuse with the sloppy sealed surface last time as well. She'll be for it. It's shorter field, but highly contentious. Really competitive group.
Somebody's going to have to take the lead, and Dancing Danae might be it. It doesn't appear, at least on paper, that anybody's going to want it. So Dancing Danae is a threat to slow it down and go wire to wire.
No doubt.
It's a really interesting race.
It is.
Let's go on to the 6th now. We have another group of maidens, 16,000. They are going 2 turns, and they are 2-year-olds. Scratch the 11, the also eligible Lake Party. And, these for 2-year-olds do have a lot of experience, and another tough race to figure.
It is. I think you've got to search for a little bit of a price. I don't see the favorite. Maybe 3 to 1. I don't know if anybody's going to be much less than that. They have to Scratch the 9, Halfway Descent, who I was going to default into. It's my top selection because this race gave me so much trouble. I come back Done Acting. Encouraging try with the blinkers last time out. I think this horse is a stayer, a little bit extra ground. Ham Smith with the maiden claiming always a good angle. I think we'll keep this field in his sights. I don't see anybody really running away. Maybe the 10 with the blinkers on will kind of go towards the front, gets a little help with the scratch, moves in a little bit.
I went to the 1 Edify. This horse ran against the 2 Thank You So Much, who was one of the few Steve Asmussen horses. I believe he ran all 3 of his horses within 2 days of each other, and none of them won, even though all of them were very short priced. Edify in the race last time out was beaten only a nose for second. Now, I thought this was a weirdly kind of run race. This horse sits off the pace, then goes up to the front, has a clear 3 lengths lead, and then just spits the bit. I don't know, if Russell just couldn't wait, Sheldon Russell just couldn't wait any longer, and maybe that he was full of run, and I'm not really sure, but he made a huge move and then just could not sustain it.
Yeah, that's the key. I mean, maybe the middle move was just a little too much that day. The 2-back try looked like a little bit better, but once again, he's a horse to me. He's had no real excuse the last 2. I mean, those races were ripe for him to win. He didn't get it done. Maybe he gets it done this afternoon. I'll take the 5, Done Acting. The 4 intrigues me a little bit. Michael Trombetto's horse. He's out of Queens. Claimed last time out off of Ness. We're going to go gelding, right? Reported first time gelding and blinkers on.
Yes.
There's your anchor. You're gonna include this horse. The 2-back try was good. The debut run was well clear of a horse by the name of Extra Wiseman, who did come back to win and beat Edify. I'll toss the last. This horse has been against the grain of the racetrack both times. I think we'll stretch out and handle the mile in the 16th this afternoon.
Extra Wiseman, a lot of these horses came out of that race, including Edify, who has run since then. So one of the reasons that I forgot to mention that I think this horse might improve today is he rolled back after only 9 days last time.
Right.
So now he has been off for, 3 weeks. And I don't know if that was the reason he got tired in the stretch last time, that those races were so close together, and it ended up taking its toll in the last 16th of a mile. But also coming out of that Extra Wiseman race, the 5 Done Acting, the 6 Love Doctor, and several of them also came out of that Supervision race. So these horses have all seen each other before, and we'll see if anybody has anything to turn the tables. Done Acting last time did get first-time blinkers and goes to a mile and a 16th today. But this one is this one's another tough one, and I do like the angle on the 4 and first time off the claim.
The 4 and the 10, maybe that the 10 dropping a little bit, but the fresh faces, I guess, to the other ones that have that have run against each other.
And the 10 Barley Standing may not have liked the mud last time out. You just can never tell.
Second out angle on Mary Epler, I think, is pretty good. Let's take a look. What was it? 32%.
Yeah,
not too
bad. She was in the major league. She'd be making a lot of money right now if she was playing baseball. Let's move along to race number 7 on the card. We have a mile race. This is an optional claimer, 16,000. Have to have started for 16,000 or less, or a non-winners of 4 lifetime. And in this race, everybody qualifies for the non-winners of 4 condition, and nobody's in for a tag. I ended up going with the 4, Andrasta, who hasn't run since the turf in October at Laurel, and got a victory that day. And the last time we saw this filly on the main track, she was 4th and, beaten 5 lengths, but that was for 25,000. So I think she faced a little bit tougher in that race, and she got the slight nod for me at 5-1 morning line.
Okay, yeah, I like the 1, My Drink Selection. Similar running styles as the 2, Midnight Union. I think the majority of the money is going to come in on these 2. I might have lined the 1 a little bit too low, but I think the way the barn's gone now and showing the ability to go this distance, I think is going to work well. I think My Drink Selection will get money. I think Midnight Union, I'm a little suspect. Bottom side, Henny Hughes. Looks like this horse wants to sprint. I don't know. Stretching out, I'm going to go ahead and try to beat the 2, Midnight Union. I think My Drink Selection kind of lets her go. Tips outside, stalks, and can grind on. You look at the 3-back try behind Tiger Eyes. Kind of dog that one every step of the way, only to get beat 3/4 of a length. Tiger Eyes had trouble yesterday in a 2 other than, broke slow, and still ran well. I think My Drink Selection, first off the claim for Ness, is going to be awfully tough in race 7. I think she stalks the 2, goes by. Then she's going to have to hold off the closers, maybe Miss Otis, or maybe even the 3, Crooked.
And My Drink Selection, obviously the Nest Barn is hot right now. I was thinking that perhaps the 2, Midnight Union, and the 6, So Innocent, might push her early. And maybe, last time out she had an easy 2-length lead at 48-1, and she couldn't hang on. Obviously the new barn, new connections, and we'll see what they can do with her. But, my horse Andrasta looks to sit from just off the pace. And here's another thing about Midnight Union. We see this all the time where horses just get good. And she's coming in here off a 2-race win streak, but she's never seen the Laurel surface. She's coming in from Penn National, but she did win in Allowance Company last time out, so she's kind of the unknown quantity. She's been no worse than 3rd in her last 5 races, so she is, clearly in the right form right now.
It's an awfully strong work as well. They went ahead and worked this horse a mile.
Yeah.
November 25th of a mile and 45. That's not a bad work whatsoever. We're going to see if she can stretch her speed out to the mile distance on this particular racetrack. The 6, So Innocent, for the Frocks, is the perfect with Lasix, perfect now on the turf, with Lasix on the grass. Will that translate to the main track?
Yeah, the claim was a good one for him as she's gotten the money in her last 2. In that last race on the main track, she ran in the slop, and she was the beaten favorite that day, but she was claimed out of the barn from Michael Matz, who also doesn't run very many horses at Laurel. So Snake Frock put the tag in on her that day, and ended up being a very good expenditure in that race. And she did get Lasix in her last 2, which she had not had before. And, I I got 6 horses in here, 0 marked through with no shot.
Yeah.
So I,
It's that kind of card.
It
I
is.
mean, yeah,
It's. I think the good news is your exactas are going to pay well today, because with the exception of a couple of races, I don't think you're going to have very many prohibitive favorites. And when everybody's 3-1 and above, you get good payoffs on your
You do.
exactas and tries.
We saw a couple yesterday. You know, I thought the exacta would pay 22 or 23. It'd be like 34 or 38 bucks. It was a really good payout. You're going to get that. Contentious races, tough to figure out, tough to single, even narrow it down to 2 horses the whole way on this racing card.
And, you know, a lot of times the exactas are your best bet on the card. If you look at the pools in every single race, the exacta pool has more money in it than almost any other bet in the race. Sometimes the win pool outdoes the exacta, but you got to go where the money is. And I think today we've got some very good values on your exactas and tries. We are at the last race on the card with 45 minutes to post in race number 1. We have $40,000 maidens going a mile, and they are 2-year-old fillies, and I think you better go deep in this race.
Scratch my top selection. I was all set to take a shot on the 8. Dorothy Vaughn. Default into the 9. Violent Fit. Gets the good post draw. It comes and gets a fast track today. I think this horse ran okay out of the YUS Miss Saffron race and Enchanted Ghost. Looking at this, I think this filly can stretch out. Looking at the bottom side, will be okay. Clearly, Irish Access now, I think, will be a solid favorite in race 8. But Violent Fit didn't run too terribly last time out.
No, and she was really ignored at the window. She went off at almost 18-1 that day. Again, you just never know when they come in the slop whether they're going to like it or not. And I ended up going with the favorite. I think probably the only favorite I picked today, Irish Access, who did stretch out last time from 6 furlongs to a mile and a 16th. And I thought that was a very nice race. She comes right back at that level. And among the ones that have raced, she appears to be the most consistent. I don't know what happened to her 2 starts ago. Her first career start was nice. And then 2 starts ago, she was unruly in the gate. And sometimes for a 2-year-old, that can get in their head, and that's it. They left their race in the starting gate, and that could be what happened to her last time out. Let's take a look at the 3, Singing Sarah. She ran well in her first 2 career starts at Delaware, 1 on the turf and 1 on the dirt, so she doesn't need to take her surface with her. And last time, she was just in over her head in stakes company as a maiden still. And not only that, not only was she in over her head, but then she had trouble too.
Yeah, she had trouble. She looks like they might go ahead and try to put her on the lead. And you've got the other stablemate. Lynn Ashby has the 1 Whistle Worthy. I think the debut try was okay. I'll forgive the last on the sloppy sealed surface. But going back to the favorite, you know, that horse took a lot of money. I thought it was a shorter field, but Irish Access really kind of got bet down a little bit more than what I thought. Didn't run bad at all. You see the topped out lifetime best number of a 48. Maybe the mile is right. She did hang a little bit late, hit the walk. Because you looked at the bottom side, it was all kind of sprint when you look through that whole family. But Irish Access, I'm going to try to beat her with the 9 Violent Fit. We can talk a little bit about the 4 Maui
Wahine?
Maui Wahine, yeah, I guess. Looking at the breeding by Cuba out of Truthful Dutch, makes her a fool to Lakai.
Gotta love
Horse that
Lakai.
we've seen, yeah, it's very strong. 4 for 6, lifetime 133,000, ran in the low 90s. Yeah.
And Maui Wahine also has been training forwardly here at Laurel. A bullet work on the 20th of November in 101 and change. 49 last time was also a bullet work. And that was, you know, there was a sizable pool to, that day that worked. So 49 and 1 is not smoking, but the track could have been slow that day if that's the bullet work for all the horses that worked that day. And you know, going a mile on her first try,
that's tough.
Yeah,
that's really hard. I mean, that's what's making me think, how much speed does she really have? I mean, if she had it, you'd think maybe 5.5. I don't know. Lakai, everything was, I believe, was sprinting. I'll use the horse underneath. But it'd be interesting what kind of money this horse takes.
Well, I'm going on all of my tickets the deepest in the 8th race, as you know, anything could happen, and I think that's the prevailing theme today. Anything can happen. It's a very competitive card. We have beautiful weather for a December day. The track is fast despite the overnight rains. We are 41 minutes to post. Thank you, Keith, very much for your insight.
If you want to look, I think there's a really good, strong, super high 5 carryover at Gulfstream. So if you want to give that a look as well today on today's card, you could jump in early and maybe catch that thing. That thing is going to have a huge pot when it's all said and done.
Well, Keith and I will be back for the morning show again tomorrow. Again, we have 41 minutes to post in race number 1. We do have a very strong favorite in the first race with the 3 Guilty with an Excuse, who had an excuse last time out. And I don't know if we'll need excuses at the end of the day. But
We've always got a built-in excuse.
Exactly. Well, everyone have a great day at the races, and Dave Rodman will be along shortly with the changes.
Good luck.